What it do, world? It's your mans and I'm the Toothless Wonder, aka Foul Shot. I'm reporting on the Bamboozled Again News Network, right? And I've been going through a lot of numerology synchronicity, right? 111, 1111, 333, some 444s in there. I tend not to get too new agey with it, but the fact that I'm noticing this means something. So I just give praise to Most High. Because, we all living in this space of uncertainty, right? Where the world is a stage. You can't really tell how much is real or organically happening versus being, engineered falsely, right? Excuse me, y'all. But I went through another synchronicity last night, right? And a blending of the parallels of time periods. So, we got the Gladiator joint with Denzel in it coming out, right? I'm going to check that joint. I like Gladiator movies or movies depicting, Roman society, right? Because technically, in the modern age, we're living in Roman society now. You understand? And then one of my favorite shows ever was the Spartacus series that they had on Stars around 2010, 2011-ish. And I don't really watch a lot of boob tube, but during that time, I was still shucking and jiving. And I would leave the bar at 9, 10 o'clock, to get home just so I could watch that joint, yo. Because I like any show that you get chimed into the characters. You get an emotional attachment to the plot line, the stories, the various characters and their outcomes, whatever, right? So then this thing hit me last night of how there are a lot of similarities socially between a gladiator, aka the black man, living here in modern day Rome and back then, and the mentality you'll have to adopt for this reward. And there are no guarantees in life. But this is the only reward the gladiator had. If you fight enough, I think once a year they might let him free, right? But basically, just like Negroes who live under the valley of the shadow of death every day be. Not just Negroes in the street, but, the society attempts to unalive you spiritually before they put you in the earth. They'll unalive you, mentally, what I'm saying, emotionally. You kind of halfway have to get cold to some degree just to function, you know what I'm saying? And be able to turn on the empathy switch so that you're not, totally Antarctica out here, right? The only reward that the gladiator had back then was that he was able to die an honorable death on the sands of battle with his manhood still intact. That's the only reward he got or could look forward to, leaving this place and being at peace. Periodically, you might get a little party where you get drunk or something, or, y'all had a good showing, so you might get some concubines or whatever the case may be, and, But I just was thinking, and oddly enough, there are a lot of different scenes in the Spartacus Stars series that resonated with me so much, right? Now, I don't know how much it held to historical record, but Spartacus, he had a regular life. But this typically is what happening now, right? So I think Rome had annexed Thrace, which I believe is like modern day Bulgaria, Romania, somewhere in that area, right? So, you know how like maybe the United States might link up with NATO force or something to that effect, right? So he's a very, honorable, respected man in his home country. And he's got men under his authority, right? But Rome is over top of them, right? So I think how it worked out, Rome was being sieged by barbarians or something to that effect. So the Roman dude tells him, we're going this way. But these same barbarian tribes are about to hit his particular village, right? So here's where every black man come to the proverbial fork in the road. Now you can do what you know to be right, which is protect that which is yours. You see what I'm saying? Or you can bow down to Rome. Now, if you bow down to Rome, you'll lose the ire or the respect of your fellow countrymen, right? But if you defy Rome, you'll win the respect that you've already gotten of your countrymen. But you put yourself at personal peril. So he, goes fights for his peoples, right? And in the wake of that, I believe Rome punished him. I think they seized, like, they unalived his daughter and child and something, threw him in slavery, right? So he goes through this deconstruction process of his old world being obliterated. But here's the kicker though. He's catching hell because he did what he knew to be right. Can't we identify with that? I know I can. You know what I'm saying? So then he goes through this deconstruction process of grieving, mourning, right? I think he was in the Roman moms, but somehow he gets out of that. The same Roman moms that they put John the Revelator in at an elderly age to break his will, because from the Roman historical record I looked at, they had attempted to cook him alive in like burning oil, but it didn't work. So then they sent him there, right? So somehow, chain of events happen, he get out, but he's then purchased into slavery to be a gladiator. But he's already like a military dude anyway. So then he's around other disenfranchised people, and he now finds purpose in his pain through his personal efforts, character, whatever. Of course, you can't win everybody over immediately. But he was so hell-bent, just like Kunta Kinte, on the idea and the concept of freedom that he then, move here, move there, nearly took down the most powerful nation in the world at that time, a la Gideon, with basically a band of misfits who had a whole bunch of trauma due to oppression, slavery, you know. It's the same thing for the Negro here. Like I said, I've caught more hell doing what I know to be right. Now, people might respect me or whatever the case may be, but they'll support me behind the scenes, but they can't publicly do it because they know that'll kind of fraction the social circles they run in. You know what I mean? The black man has to take on the mentality of a Roman gladiator. Until the Most High do it, we ain't getting free, not no mass. So while we're here in Roman society, you got to go about this honorably. I see so many homeboys pandering, so many homeboys grouping up, but they can't stand each other, but didn't smile and take pictures, right? I see so many brothers here in Rome so far removed from who they used to be because of the moral degradation on a daily basis and the various pitfalls. They're a shell of them former self. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no guarantees, even with myself and whatever I attempt to do, try to do. That's all in the Most High's will. There was a symbolic scene in that joint where the only reason, well, not the only reason, but one of the contributing factors that the Roman general man Crassus, right? The only reason he was able to defeat him, or at least give him a good run for his money, was the fact that he didn't view him as a slave. He viewed him as a worthy opponent. So he didn't underestimate him, you know what I'm saying? He's seen him as a worthy adversary. And there's one scene where they meet up, right, just to hash it out man to man. But they both trying to unalive each other because they're on both sides of the... But they end up, respecting each other. And I think the man Crassus said something to the effect of, you can't win this. And he was like, well, that's what every other, Roman who ran up on me said, you know what I mean? And then he was like, something, something, something. But he said something very key, right? He said, there is no justice, not at least not in this world. You know what I mean? And that stuck with me. You know what I mean? Even with me going after the old job, and I'm thinking they paying people, I might not get no justice. I fought the good fight, you know what I'm saying? And then he said something like, you will die on the sand, but he was like, but that's my choice and my right on my time because I'm a free man. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I'm still here in Babylon, aka Rome, but I'm about free as I can get. But in freedom, there comes a great responsibility, or you'll go back into bondage. That's why they say like a whole bunch, like recovering addicts, especially early on, don't need a whole bunch of free time because you start, inventing stuff you shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? With all this freedom, I am very disciplined, right? And then here's the brother Thinking Man's Templar talked about this, right? He was talking about the pain of the black man, right? And how nobody cares. And if you voice your pain, they shame you for it. Or please don't tell your woman. She'll come to despise you. Or with all this is levied against us, we can't even show no weakness. When, let's be honest, everybody got weakness. Everybody go through stuff. But you, the black man, can't show it. Because as soon as you show it, a chink in the armor, that's what they're gunning for. They want you buck broke. They want to see you down bad. They want to see you sweat. You know what I'm saying? Who are you to stand up? I guess maybe they've never seen it or not in this modern age. But you're an anomaly if you stand up for what's right without no whole bunch of support. And you probably know here come a whole bunch of detrimental stuff. Run it. You know what I'm saying? And the brother man, he was thinking man's Templar was talking about. He had a title of a video called, what's it called? Once bitten, twice shy. Where once you have certain experiences, yeah, you can heal and, continue on with life and not hold grudges. But you'll always remember. And he was saying how based on the situations he's had and understanding of female nature, especially in the Western world, he said it dawned on him, I may never love another woman because I know better. You know what I'm saying? And then that parallels to, there was a scene in the Spartacus joint where, they freed and they're fighting or whatever the case may be. And he gets this particular young lady who kind of takes to him or whatever. She's, doing a little, just being of assistance to Spartacus, right? So she's enamored with the man, trying to figure out, like she don't know his backstory, right? Then I think eventually she asks around, she finds out about his wife, right? And I think they had already done it by this point, you know what I'm saying? So she was asking, or I guess she was wondering, I forgot how she asked him. She asked him, something in reference to love or something to that effect. And he says, because his wife had died, he says, I found solace in other women, but I'll never love another. And I find that to be, and I don't know, that just stuck with me for some reason. And since my shawty passed, for that time period, it seemed we were equally yoked. But now, sometimes I wonder, what would be the personality traits, attributes, or background story of any woman to deal with me in this form? I don't know if they exist. To be totally honest, I don't know if a wife in the modernized term or even remotely close would work for me. Honestly, it's going to sound maybe misogynistic or something. The only personal attachment I could probably have to a woman at this point, where I'm at with it, on my self-actualization journey, might be an obedient servant. I don't necessarily need moral support or emotional support, rather, or, I'm used to kind of find out my own. Now, granted, it'd be nice to have other people that, you can facilitate things through, but outside of that, I've had to train myself to do for myself, which would naturally come from a significant other. Support, encouraging words. I do all that for myself now. You know what I'm saying? So unless, to be totally honest, again, seeing my leadership skills, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to bamboozle nobody. And I can explain stuff to you, but arguing or you questioning this, that, and the third, I'm like Jigger Man. First time they fuss, I'm freezing, talking about what's the reason. Because I don't sacrifice my peace. Not for no momentary pleasure, not nothing. And I've been trained out of that because life ain't been pleasurable. So now I don't really desire it like that. Do I have certain concepts in my mind that I would like to achieve and experience? Yeah. But if it don't come, it don't come. You know what I'm saying? And to be totally honest, yo, from what I'm seeing out here, that's why I would like to travel, because they say a travel man, avails much wisdom, right? The vast majority of Jones I see ain't worthy of the royal penis. Yeah, I said it. How valuable is it if you're just getting it to everybody? Vice versa, you know what I'm saying? Here's where the inversion comes in at, where, the modern woman will say, man got to do this and that to be with me and have this amount of money and this much meat and all that, right? But the last 17 dudes that hit ain't had none of that. And how valuable is it? It's if you give it away for free and then try to invert the value of it and make me jump through hoops to get it. And then let's say you obtain it. It ain't even all it's cracked up to be. And that's not even the bad part. The bad part is now, how does it say what man could take fire into his bosom and not be burned? That's what I'm scared. Like the aftermath, like the Dr. Dre record label. You know what I'm saying? You're going to try to destroy. I've been through that about 3,000 times. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even cared that. I made mistakes, but I ain't do what Sam Sasha here did. And seemingly you still respect him. Nah, I'm good. I'm going to wait this one out. I'm playing the long game with this. You know what I'm saying? The endurance, the patience. You know what I'm saying? The training of my skills so I don't get unalived prematurely on the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? This is literally like war. And the subtlety of it is, it's not always like, bullets whizzing past your head. It's a war. How is that written in the Behold a Pale Horse? Quiet weapons for silent wars. If you don't get self-actualized or just be on a path where the Most High wake you up, like depending on who you are and where you're at in your journey, or like with me, come to discover, God darn, everything against me. I'm surrounded by wolves. You know what I'm saying? They like you for the benefit or whatever the case may be. But when you break away, you know what I'm saying, to try to shame you, or you discover they were plotting on you, or, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't hook people up, you know what I'm saying, with the opposite sex like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But then these same people turn around and dirty mouth on me. Like it ain't gonna get back to me. I think it's funny. Because that just showed me where you really at with it. Like, darn, Joe. And if you do that, you'll do anything. So yeah, I'll shuck and jive with you and play with you like that. But anything super spectacular, like I ain't expecting you to stand up in the war. You know what I'm saying? Not the average Negro that I see. And if you anything such as myself, or like I see the old school black man just handling business, he don't really do no whole bunch of talking. He had to pull himself up by his bootstraps. Like, like maybe like they ain't do a whole bunch of crying and complaining and talking. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe socially, they might have had it worse with Jim Crow and desegregation and all that. You know what I mean? Again, we've been rocked to sleep in leisure and comfortability. We got more money as a group of people than we ever had, but we're less effective because there's no unity. That's what Spartacus was able to do. He was able to bring together traumatized people, such as black folk, under a common cause and get them to believe in an ideal that was greater than themselves. Not just freedom, the pursuit thereof. And within that construct or that idea, they started believing the same people who have hammered us down into the earth don't look as strong as they're trying to convince us that we are, or that they are. You see what I'm saying? I think that's now granted, along spiritual lines, the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. So we ain't gonna band together and beat no, system or nothing like that. You know how you beat the system? Leave it. Be set apart from it. Like all the stuff they levy on, ain't hit me not near a piece of time. The jab, no, I already knew. Once I seen it on TV, I already knew what the play was. When they started promoting Black Lives Matter, I already knew what the play was. I ain't get wrapped up in none of that. I'm not going riot. For what? It ain't gonna change, mama. And they instigate the rioting by getting on TV and tell you should be mad. Don't nobody think. That's why they say Einstein said that's why God gave everybody their own brain to think and reason for themselves. But through the mass hypnosis, if I want to call it that, the vast majority of people, it's starting to look like Rome in more of a Resident Evil kind of sense. I'm seeing everybody as that's how I've been able to navigate certain situations, because I see who you are, and I'm not like, oh, who is this person? Like, it just happens like in my background apps. So I generally know how you're programmed. So based on me seeing you do this means I'll do this and cross my legs. It don't even require no whole bunch of mental energy or thought process. Somehow I know what to do. I know how to do stuff I've never done. Like getting caught in a trick bag or being able to manually override my empathy. You know what I'm saying? And wisdom. You know what I mean? Rome, hell of a drug, boy. And I see a lot of homies down on the signs, man, with self-inflicted wounds because of the culture. I got partners, right? One partner, allegedly, unalived his girl, and they still can't find her body. I got another part right before I went to rehab. And it was very timely because, like, in a 3-month period, I had at least 5 incidents where I had just left right before shots rang out, or I was in the area and didn't know nothing about it. So I'm in the back and I'm still shucking the job. I'm like, yeah, it might be time. It's getting too close now. Like the Osley bro, I can start hearing footsteps in the dock. So I go ahead, and then, circumstances played out. I went on back to rehab. So, 45 days you can't have no phone access. So I'm hitting my mans and them up on, whatever. So, you don't see nobody online, you think they locked up, right? So now I reach around to mutual friends. They tell me locked, they don't tell me what for. Come to discover, maybe a week or two after I went to rehab, he got jammed up for a body that he caught 18 months to 2 years prior. He's now serving a 60-year sentence. And at the time, he had a 2-year-old son, playing the street, the gang life, and all that. Now, me and him would link. We would talk about life and evolving and woo 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 woo. You know what I'm saying? But that just shows you. And these people, like, I knew personally, like I had their phone number. I've been very fortunate, by the grace, to survive the stuff. Or even brothers who got all these kids out here, and they kind of stay financially destitute. They got to live with a woman, and in that whole cycle and program. You know what I mean? By the grace of the Most High, I done dodged everything. Or I had a season of it and it just fell up off of me. Like, I only watch TV like that. And I didn't think, let me stop watching TV. I just lost the desire to watch TV. Then later on, I come to discover how they mass manipulate people through TV. You see what I'm saying? Casual sex. I've been broke out of that. Now I see how dangerous it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know how this works, because I'll be honest, I ain't wearing no condom like nothing. If I need to wear a condom because I think you got something, that means I don't need to fool with you at all. Or if I now, I'm not purposely gonna do this, but if I think, if I'm scared I'm gonna get you pregnant, and you're like a bad woman to get pregnant, I ain't gonna sleep with you, I thought I was a master of the pull-out game. But I ain't wearing no condom, It don't make no sense to me, be honest with you. But that's just me, though. But now with the jab babbling, like, let's say I hypothetically sleep with a woman who's been jabbed. Will that transfer over to me since it's in their DNA and in their bloodstream and all that? I'm scared death of that. They say, the last time I looked, they say 80% of the people, no, I think they said 70% got 2 shots or 1 shot, and 80% got 2. So if we split that in half, you know what I mean? That only leaves like 10% of women who didn't get vaccinated in an already barren dating pool. Boy, it's hard in the yard. And in response, you got to go hard in the paint. As far as not bending and yielding to the wiles of Rome. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy none of these people. I think Trump was false hope. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's going to get in there. And I don't know if they just going to Mickey flick everything out. You know how they like give you this hope and then, and then you're like, wah, wah, wah. And it further demoralizes you. I don't even care. Actually, we're living in so at certain times. But I don't even get all wrapped up in it. Or how the words say, the concerns and cares of this life. Long as I can go down to G, shoot. That's all I want to do at the end of the day. Not become like everybody else. And hopefully and prayerfully be found worthy to be accepted by the Most High. And on that note, I'm going to holler at y'all.